Number 1 is Elmhurst Autumn, owned by Bruce Trogdon. Ralph Lunsford drives. 2 Pans Peanut Butter, owned by Fred Merriman with Jerry Kutchback Jr. Number 3, Jory, leased by Judy Nixon and Norma Boggs. Rainsman's Mike Wilder. Number 4, Moretta, owned by Mike Metters. Brad Hanners will be aboard. Number 5 is Baroque Bogart, owned by Tanya and Ted Parker. Jody Essig in the bike. 6, All Out of Love, owned by James Borchers with Jeff Fout. Number 7, Goodnight Dream, owned by Tim Lee and Ron Steck. 8, Honey Bun Osborne, owned by Herbie Brown. Doug Routsong will be in the sulky. No changes in the daily double. Post time in 6 minutes. Field for tonight's first race is at the gate and moving through the clubhouse turn. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. All Out of Love on the far outside takes the lead. Elmhurst Autumn, the Roan is on the rail, second and challenging, followed by Pan's Peanut Butter in third. They're down the backstretch. Jory in the fourth. Moretta is fifth. Baroque Bogart after that. Goodnight Dream and Honey Bun Osborne as they drive to the quarter-mile pole. All Out of Love has got the top. Elmhurst Autumn is into second, followed by Pan's Peanut Butter in third, moving by the opening quarter in 28-2. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. All Out of Love will try to make every pull a winning one as the 7-5 favorite. Elmhurst Autumn doing her best right now in second, followed by Pan's Peanut Butter in third. Here's Moretta up on the outside, and Goodnight Dream will kick on with her. Around the clubhouse turn, it's Jory. Moving from the back of the pack, Honey Bun Osborne seventh. Baroque Bogart is eighth along the rail. Jeff Fout's got him out at the half in a soft 58-1. All Out of Love continues to lead the way. Moretta's on the move to second. Elmhurst Autumn fighting back along the rail in the third. Pan's Peanut Butter, the Crunchy Journey in fourth, driving up on the outside. Goodnight Dream to fifth. Jory is sixth, seventh on the outside. Honey Bun Osborne. Baroque Bogart is eighth along the rail, hub to hub into three quarters. All Out of Love is strong on top in 126-3. Moving around the far turn. All Out of Love bouncing right along. Elmhurst Autumn in second. Moretta's dropping back. Up the rail, Pan's Peanut Butter, Goodnight Dream on the far outside. They're into the stretch. Under confident handling, All Out of Love is all alone. Here's a Jogburger in here. It's All Out of Love. Here's Goodnight Dream. Too little, too late. All Out of Love, Goodnight Dream, maybe up second, probably in the one. Elmhurst Autumn third. Nights. Here's the field for tonight's second race. Number 1, Windy Score, owned by Harry and Iris Horowitz. Debbie Rucker drives. Here's the 2, Mighty Bloom, owned by Roy Brown with Dave Hawk. 3, Litvak, owned by Russ Hill, Richard Davis, Jody Essig, the Rainsman. 4-Hour Jake, owned by Larry Farley. Jeff Fout will be aboard. 5, Flashy Message, owned by James Padron, Patrick Silber, and Donald Breeze with Frank Todd Jr. in the bike. 6 is Sand Nile, owned by Bill Sanders with Don McCurgan. 7 is Active Jim, owned by Tom York Jr., John and Robert Melsheimer, Dave Rankin. Number 8, Final Arnie, owned by Richard Elwood with Brad Hanners. 9, Halo in Orbit, owned by Ruby Hostetler. Charlie Myrick will be in the sulky. Trotters for tonight's second race. The first division of the Governor's Cup Trot, $34,400 the purse. Post time in 6 minutes. Field for tonight's second race. First division of the Governor's Cup Trot is at the gate and moving through the clubhouse turn. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and trotting. Our Jake quickly grabs the racetrack, assumes command. Windy Score away safely. Second, here's Flashy Message up on the outside. Active Jim, 3 deep to the extreme outside. Toward the rail, Mighty Bloom gets away in 5th. After that, Litvak, followed by Sand Nile. Final, Arnie and Halo in orbit as they scramble for position into the first turn. Our Jake has got the racetrack. Up on the outside, Flashy Message, rolling by the opening quarter in a solid 28 3/5. Trotters are dueling past the stands. Flashy Message up on the outside of Our Jake. Our Jake yields to the pocket. Windy Score is into 3rd. Mighty Bloom 4th. Active Jim comes to the outside. Ranging up on the outside, Sand Nile. Nearest the rail, Litvak is 7th. Final Arnie is 8th. Halo in orbit is 9th. He didn't plan it that way. They're at the half in a good 57-4. Governor's Cup trotters step down the backstretch. Flashy Messages got the top. First to flush. Coming with a rush, here's Mighty Bloom up on the outside. Windy Score comes off the rail. Active Jim is on the far outside. Rio Racing starts right now. Sand Nile has jumped off stride on the extreme outside. Quickly off stride along the rail, Litvak as they move into 3/4. By a half a length, it's Flashy Message. Right alongside Mighty Bloom. Toward the rail, Our Jake. Windy Score is in the center. Here comes Sand Nile again on the outside in 127-4. Trotters swing around the far turn. Mighty Bloom has got the lead. Mighty Bloom opens up about 5 lengths. In between horses, here comes Our Jake again. Flashy Message. Sand Nile is up on the far outside. Deep stretch. It's Mighty Bloom. Here's Sand Nile on the outside, getting up second. Here's Mighty Bloom, 3-year-old bay gelding by Mighty Crown out of Sun Blossom. Owned in Ashland by the trainer Roy Brown, given a well-judged drive tonight by Dave Hawk. Covering the mountain 157-2, knocking 3 seconds off his lifetime best. Number 2, Mighty Bloom, the unofficial winner of tonight's first division of the Governor's Cup Trot. Two six exact. Here's a third one, Brooklet's Dolly, owned by Ralph Garrett and Christina Gallops. Mike Wilder drives. 2, Miss Predator, owned by Roger Wheeler and David Hawk. 3, Tootin' Scootin', owned by Howard Wallace, Rainsman Jody Essig. 4, Side Court, owned by Chuck Grubbs, Brad Hanner's aboard. 5, Renfield Sweet, owned by Cora Norman with Randy Tharps. 6, Aim Too High, owned by Donald Peters with Ron Steck. 7, Believability, owned by David Ehrenberg with Charlie Neff. Number 8 is Lona, owned by John Sturba and Harry Berger with Darren Mauser. 9, Creole, owned by Sean Howell. Ralph Leo Grande is in the sulky. Field for tonight's third race. Post time in less than 5 minutes. Post time in 5 minutes, Superfecta wagering. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Creole on the far outside with a rush between horses. Side Court. Brooklet's Dolly is along the rail. Middle of the racetrack, Renfield Sweet as they make their way to the first turn. Side Court has got the top. Nearest the rail, Renfield Sweet moves in to be second. Here's Believability charging off from between horses third. Creole on the outside, adding some spice to the mix in fourth. After that, Brooklet's Dolly is in the fifth. Miss Predator, Tootin' Scootin', Aim Too High, and Lona by the opening quarter in 28 seconds flat. Moving past the stands to the half-mile pole up on the outside, Creole has brushed to the front. Creole on top, Believability is stalking second. Side Court is in the third. Here's Renfield Sweet coming again. Miss Predator is on the prowl from fifth. Along the rail, Brooklets Dolly in 6th. Racing between horses, Tootin' Scootin' is 7th. Aim Too High is 8th along the rail. Lona's 9th on the outside, 58-1. Creole is bouncing right along. Creole's got the top by 2. With a rush on the outside, Renfield Sweet picks up the chase 2nd. Believability skimming the pylons in 3rd. Miss Predator attacking on the outside 4th. Off the 5-8, side court is 5th. Brooklets Dolly continues to skim the pylons. Here's Tootin' Scootin', Lona up on the outside and along the rail, Aim Too High. Renfield Sweet goes on by a tiring Creole, 126-2. Driving around the far turn, Renfield Sweet leads the way. Miss Predator is up on the outside. Creole's coming again along the rail. Side court, middle of the racetrack, Brooklets Dolly is up on the far outside. Racing through the stretch, Renfield Sweet. Miss Predator on the outside is trying to wear her down. Renfield Sweet, Miss Predator getting up. Here comes Miss Predator. 8-year-old bay mare by Trenton Time out of Precious Beth. Owned in Columbus by Roger Wheeler. Trained by Alex Spence Jr. Driven tonight by Dave Hawk. To cover the mile in 156-2. Number 2, Miss Predator, the winner. And that is a consecutive driving double tonight for David Hawk. Top down in the 3rd, Brooklets Dolly 6, Miss Predator, the winner. Tootin' Scootin' 9th, side court 3rd, Renfield Sweet 2nd. Aim Too High was 4th. Believability 7th, Lona 8th, and Creole 5th. Second division of the Governor's Cup from the Ohio State Fair Stakes. 10 trotters to go a mile for $35,100. Number 1 is Scott's Hope, owned by Ralph Conley Jr. and driver Chip Noble. 2, Overs Butler, owned by driver Willard Miller, along with Alan Besco. Number 3 is Carry the Ribs, owned by Tom Gregory, Ted Gregory, Jody Essig, the reinsman. Number 4, Beat the Whip, owned by the Whip or Wheel Stable, Donnie McCurgan aboard. Number 5, LB Reply, owned by Leonard Buckner, and the driver is Jeff Fout. 6, He's Nifty, owned by Dwayne Lowe, and the bike Dave Hawk. 7, George's Shadow, owned by Frank Sicanesi with Tony Price. 8, A Spectacular Score, owned by David Niggemeyer and Jim Arledge with Del S. Miller. 9, Trentwood, owned by Max Graber with Russell Schwartz. 10, Michael 2, owned by Rusty Means Jr., Robert Meter Sr., and Paul Eccleberry. Dave Rankin will be in the sulky. 6 minutes till post time, Division 2 of the Governor's Cup Trot. Purse here, $35,100. 6 minutes till post time. Field 4, race 4 is at the gate and moving up. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and trotting. Trentwood never got anywhere near the gate, and the 5 is off stride. LB Reply, they're down the backstretch. Beat the Whip goes to the lead. Here is Spectacular Score up on the outside. The 10 is on the run. Michael 2. As they trot to the first turn, here's Spectacular Score up on the outside now, getting the lead. Beat the Whip moves in to be second, followed by Overs Butler in third. Driving up on the outside, He's Nifty fourth. Racing fifth, Scott's Hope. As they trot by the opening quarter in 28-1. Trotters in parade past the stands, Carry the Rib. George's Shadow. Here's Trentwood up on the outside. After that, the early breakers, LB Reply and Michael 2. Around the clubhouse, turn to the half-mile pole. Spectacular Score bouncing right along, continues to lead the way. Here comes He's Nifty up on the outside second. Nearest the rail, Beat the Whip. After that, it's Overs Butler. Scott's Hope coming on between horses. Nearest the rail, George's Shadow. Carry the Ribs is up on the outside. Trentwood is next, followed by LB Reply and Michael 2. They're at the half in 59-1. up the backstretch. Spectacular Score leads the way. He's Nifty, draws alongside in second. Beat the Whip, filling the gap in the third. Scott's Hope in fourth. Off stride, George's Shadow as they trot by 3/4. Nearest the rail, it's still Spectacular Score in 1:28-1. Spectacular Score on top. He's Nifty, not on his game, dropping back quickly. Here comes Beat the Whip. Far outside, Carry the Ribs. Trentwood on the far outside. Field straightens away. Spectacular Score has got the lead. Beat the Whip moves up on the outside. He's Nifty, Carry the Ribs. Middle of the racetrack, it's Spectacular Score. Beat the Whip, closing up on the outside. Second tight for third. Here's Carry the Ribs. Result of race 4 is now official. In the winner's circle is Spectacular Score. 3-year-old Bay Colt by final score out of Angela Lobel. Owned by Dave Niggemeyer and trainer Jim Arledge. Driven tonight flawlessly by Del S. Miller. Covering the mile here in 1:58-2 to establish a lifetime best. Number 8, Spectacular Score, the winner of the 4th. And that is the 3rd Ohio State Fair Stakes victory this week for the team of Jim Arledge Jr. and Del S. Miller. Race. Scott's Hope was 8th. Here comes the field for tonight's 5th race. First half of the twin trifecta. No changes in tonight's twin tri. About 3,500 in the carryover. Number 1 is Legacy's Terror. Owned by Marianne Georges. Mike Wilder drives. Number 2, Towner's Tootsie, owned by James Foley and Sandy Beatty. 3, Flower Cart, owned by driver Chip Noble, Ralph Conley Jr., and Jim Burnett. 4 is Sea Spray, owned by Magic Touch, Brian Robbins and Richard Crown with Jody Essig. 5, Jan's Scooter, owned by Harry and Iris Horowitz. Debbie Rucker will be in the bike. 6 is Falcon Ground, owned by Keith Ross, Steiner Stock Farm, Bob Harper in the bike. 7, Sister Slam, owned by Jane Ferrian with Brad Henners. 8, Authentic She, owned by John and Victoria Howard with Dave Hawk. Number 9 is Amy Q, owned by Randy and Kim Owens, Michael Urin, and Ross Chambers with Jeff Fout. 10, First of March, owned by Bill Wirtz. Jeff Smith will be in the sulky. Field for tonight's 5th race, 5 minutes till post time. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Falcon Ground takes the lead. Sea Spray, middle of the racetrack. Authentic She is up on the outside. Amy Q on the far outside. They're down the backstretch. Towner's Tootsie gets away. 5th, the Rail Filly. Legacy's Terror out of the 2nd tier. 1st of March. Followed by Flower Cart. After that, it's Jan Scooter. And the trailer midway on the turn is Sister Slam. They're driving away on top to the opening quarter-mile pole, and Authentic She has got the lead in 27-2, racing past the stands. Authentic She is on top by about 2 lengths. Falcon Ground is right there in 2nd. Past the stands, Sea Spray is into 3rd. Amy Q 4th. Towner's Tootsie is 5th. Legacy's Terror is 6th. 1st of March to the outside. Flower Cart looks to move out of 8th. Getting the jump on her, Jan Scooter 9th. 10th and last at Sister Slam in a slow first half. Up top, the leader remains Authentic She in 59. Out of the turn and down the backstretch. Bouncing right along, it's still Authentic She who leads the way. Falcon Ground holding her ground in 2nd. Sea Spray in 3rd. Next in line, Amy Q 4th. Here comes Towner's Tootsie. Moving up on the outside, Jan Scooter moves with her. Along the rail, Legacy's Terror. Driving up on the outside, Sister Slam. Followed out from between horses by 1st of March. Flower Cart is 10th on the outside. Racing by 3/4 in 1:30-1. Around the far turn, Authentic She continues to lead the way. Falcon Ground is on the attack 2nd. Up the pylon, Sea Spray 3rd. Towner's Tootsie. Amy Q needs some racing room in the final 8th. Moving through the stretch, it's Authentic She. Falcon Ground in between horses, Sea Spray and Amy Q. Driving through the stretch, it's Authentic She. Falcon Ground second, Sea Spray third, 9, Amy Q fourth. Comes the unofficial winner of tonight's fifth race, number 8, Authentic She. 3-year-old bay filly by Western Hanover out of Authentic by Niatros. Owned by John and Victoria Howard of Morgantown, West Virginia. Trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. Driven tonight wire to wire by Dave Hawk, who's having a fiesta tonight. Number 8, Authentic She, the winner of the fifth, result official. That's a 3-bagger tonight for driver Dave Hawk. 8-6 exacted, $19.60 in the first half of the twin try, $22 even. Windows open on tonight's sixth race. Sixth race, first division of the Ohio's First Lady Filly Pace. 3-year-old pacing fillies going for $23,100. Post time is 9:17. Here comes the field for tonight's sixth race, Ohio State Fair Stakes. This time around for 3-year-old pacing fillies, first division for $23,100. The Ohio's First Lady Filly Pace, 1 Noble Misty, owned by James Vest, driven by Chip Noble. Number 2 is Dare Me, owned by Richard Waterman, and the drivers Jim Mullenix. 3 Carol G, owned by Jack Ader, Rainsman Dan Ader. 4 Happy Reverie, owned by the Doug Ackerman stable with D.R. Ackerman. Hello, D.R. Number 5 is Scootin' Nanny, owned by Ann Kirk, David Myers in the bike. 6 Copper and Tin, owned by Bill Aldrich Jr. with David Hawk. 7 Towners, Rio Lady, owned by Ken Charles and Jeff Fudd. 8 Sand Gold Tudor, owned by Bill Sanders. Brad Hanners will be in the sulky. Field for the sixth, post time in 6 minutes. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Far outside, Towner's Real Lady takes the lead. Copper and Tin drawing alongside up the rail. Noble Misty parked and driving Carol G. Followed by Dare Me into fifth. Happy Reverie is sixth. Around the top turn, Scootin' Annie moves into be seventh, and Sand Gold Tudor is the trailer. Seating arrangements are complete. Dave Hawk flying high tonight. Copper and Tin out winging. Yet to find her medal, though, by the opening quarter in 27 seconds flat. Speeding past the stands to the half-mile pole. Copper and Tin leads by 2. Towner's Real Lady cuts her own mile in second. Noble Misty is into third, driving up on the outside. Dare Me to fourth. Carol G, the fifth in box. Here comes Happy Reverie tipping and rolling. Setting sail from the rail, Scootin' Annie is up on the outside. At the end, it's Sand Gold Tudor. 5 in, 3 out there at the half-mile pole, 57 and 4. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Copper and Tin trying to make every pole-winning one, continues to lead. Towner's Real Lady trying to become the real McCoy is in the pocket second. Here's Dare Me up on the outside. Happy Reverie is underway with a rush. Followed by Noble Misty in fifth. Carol G is going to need Smokey Robinson and the Miracles from here. Scootin' Annie is seventh between horses. Sand Gold Tudor is eighth on the outside. They're flying by 3/4, 127 and 1. They'll pace the turn and come on home. Dare Me on the outside of Copper and Tin. Happy Reverie winds it up 3 deep on the far outside. Nearest the rail, Towner's Real Lady. Off the turn in the stretch. They're on their way home. Dare Me on the outside. Happy Reverie comes off his wheel, flies down the middle of the racetrack. Happy Reverie with a rush now gets the lead. Happy Reverie in front. Dare Me second. Scootin' Annie third. Here comes Happy Reverie. Three-year-old bay filly by Happy Chatter out of Varsity Reverie. Owned in LaPorte, Indiana by Doug Ackerman Stables. Trained by Doug J. Ackerman. Driven tonight by D.R. Ackerman. Covering the mile here in 1:55 and 3 in a lifetime best. Also in the winner's circle, Gay Lee Ackerman, as well as the representatives from Ohio's First Lady Filly Pace. Post time 9:37. Here comes the field for tonight's 7th race as they parade to the post. Velvet Viking is the 1. Owned by Mark Heath, driven by Darren Mauser. 2, She's a Jockey, owned by Alice Kidd and driver Jody Essig. 3, Ultra Sabra, owned by Richard Eugene Ward and Paul Wonder. Brad Hanner's the reinsman. 4, Earn a Livin', owned by Lowell Prickett and Mark Evers will be aboard. 5, KC's Lil Sis, owned by James and Sybil Shrazan. Mike Metters in the bike. Randy Tharp. 6, Look Annie, owned by Michael Parker and Mike Wilder. 7, Sold on You, owned by Roland Rue with Jeff Fout. 8, Halcyon's Prelude, owned by Vicky Ladar with Ralph Lunsford. 9, Favorite Madam, leased by Sharma Kutchback and Heidi Fleiss with Jack Daly. Number 10, Sweet Iris, owned by Bill M. Dave Hawk will be in the sulky. Field for the 7th exacting trifecta, wagering 6 minutes till post. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Ultra Sabra takes the lead. Earn a Livin' drives up on the outside. 2nd, Velvet Viking away a snug 3rd. Quickly out of the 2nd tier, Sweet Iris 4th. She's a Jockey taken back to 5th. Followed by KC's Lil Sis, Look Annie, Sold on You, Halcyon's Prelude, and Favorite Madam. As they jockey for position on their way to the quarter mile pole. Earn a Livin' has got a short-lived lead. Here's Ultra Sabra moving up on the outside, opening up in 28 and 3. They're off that top turn, racing past the stands. Ultra Sabra, 7-5 favorite, is now brushed to the top. Opens up 2.5. Earn a Livin' is in the 2nd. Velvet Viking in 3rd. Sweet Iris rolls up on the outside 4th. Underway, Look Annie from 5th. Around the clubhouse turn, She's a Jockey in 6th. From the far outside, Sold on You 7th. 8th along the rail is KC's Lil Sis. After that, Halcyon's Prelude. Up on the outside, Favorite Madam, they're by the half. A moderate 58 and 4, they're down the backstretch. Ultra Sabra leads the way, 3 parts of a length. Sweet Iris attacks on the outside 2nd. Earn a Livin', the pocket stalker in 3rd. Here's Look Annie, live cover to 4th. Velvet Vikings giving the pylons in 5th. Ranging up on the outside, Sold on You, She's a Jockey. KC's Lil Sis. On the extreme outside, Favorite Madam, 10th and last, Halcyon's Prelude, 128. Around the far turn, Ultra Sabra, 3 parts of a length. Sweet Iris grinding on the outside 2nd. Toward the rail, Earn a Livin' 3rd. They're into the stretch. Ultra Sabra on top. Sweet Iris still closing down the middle of the racetrack. Look Annie's up on the outside. It's Ultra Sabra, Sweet Iris, and Look Annie. Ultra Sabra holds on. Here comes Brad Hanners and Ultra Sabra, a 4-year-old brown mare by Towner's Big Guy out of Ultimate Power. Owned by Richard Ward and Paul Wonder of Cary, Ohio. Trained by Brian Brown, driven tonight coast to coast by Brad Hanners. Covering that mile here in 1:57 and 1. Number 3, Ultra Sabra, the winner. 310 exacta, $24.60, $24.60. Trifecta, $134.60. Twin Tri, $56.51.80. And our congratulations do go out to that winner, $56.51.80. Windows are now up and on tonight's 8th race. Here's the only change so far on the program. Here comes the 8th, 2nd division of the Ohio First Lady Filly Pace. 1, Giddy Up Chaco, owned by Pal Pack Stables. Dave Hawk drives. 2, Love 40, owned by Thomas J. Lamb and Dorothy Miller with Alan Henninger. 3, She's Such a Tiger, owned by Danford Murray, Tom Weber, reinsman Mike Roth. Handing back to 4, Civil Suit, owned by Nina Sams with Brad Hanners. Number 5, Kelbrook Sue Scratched. 6, Tucson Blondie, owned by Robert and Thomas Cole with Jeff Conger. 7, Rocky Surf, owned by Phil Baldoff, Martin Yoder, Angela Oliverio, and John Neck. Jody Essig will be in the sulky. Scratch the 5, Kelbrook Sue, 6 minutes till post. The gate moving through the clubhouse turn. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Civil Suit, middle of the racetrack, Such a Tiger. Love 40, Giddy Up, Chaco along the rail. Tucson Blondie, Rocky Surf, quarter pole bound. Civil Suit is on top. Here comes Seas, Such a Tiger. Driving up on the outside, second and challenging. Brad Hanna's going to let her go. He's going to come right back out. After that comes Love 40, followed by Giddy Up, Chaco, Tucson Blondie. Rocky Surf, 27 flat, past the stands. Civil Suit drives to command. Civil Suit up on the outside with She's Such a Tiger yielding to the pocket second. Love 40 is in the third, followed by Giddy Up Chaco, who sets sail from the rail. Here's Tucson Blondie tipping and rolling. Rocky Surf rides the tailgate in sixth around the clubhouse turn to the half-mile pole. Civil Suit continues to lead the way. Giddy Up Chaco, the sacrificial lamb on the outside. They really geared that second quarter down to complete the half in a moderate 59-1. Civil Suit's got them all stacked up in behind. Little more than 3/8 of a mile to pace. Civil Suit, 3 parts of a length. Giddy Up Chaco attacking on the outside second. She's Such a Tiger ready to bear her stripes in third, followed by Love 40 in fourth. Tucson Blondie up on the outside and Rocky Surf. They pick it up now. The tempo is brisk again, 128-4. Moving around the far turn, Civil Suit draws off by 2. She's Such a Tiger in second. Love 40 is third. Field straightens away. Still in command, it's Civil Suit by a widening 2.5. Driving up on the outside, Rocky Surf nearest the rail. She's Such a Tiger with Love 40. Rocky Surf on the outside now gets the lead. Here comes the field for tonight's 9th race, exact and trifecta wagering. Number 1 is Grand Scooter, owned by Steve Hettinger. Jeff Fout drives. 2, Show Me Love, owned by Kurt Loning and Del S. Miller. 3, Tucson Bridget, owned by Glenn Bird, and the driver is David Myers. Number 4, Fax Queen, owned by Fred Schroeder with Charlie Conrad. Number 5, Get Along Gretchen, owned by Virgil and Linda Hensley Hall. Bob Harper in the bike 6 Pocket Edition, leased by Sherry Myers, and the driver is Jody Essig. 7, Misty Sabra, owned by Michael Lowe with Brad Hanner's 8 General Preference, owned by Victoria and John Howard with Dave Hawk. 9, Ann's Magical Log, owned by Ann and Virgil Parks. Ron Steck will be in the sulky. Field for the 9th, welcoming Dave Gill, Pontiac. Starting gate is underway. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Tucson, Bridget, middle of the racetrack. Fax Queen, far outside. Misty Sabra. Further out comes General Preference. They're down the backstretch. Grand Scooter moves into be 5th, gap of 5. Show Me Love with Get Along Gretchen, Pocket Edition, and Ann's Magical Log as they drive to the quarter-mile pole. Fax Queen cuts this one out. Misty Sabra is in the second, followed by Tucson Bridget third, and a good 27-1 opening quarter. Racing past the stands of the half-mile pole, Fax Queen bouncing right along, stays there a length and a half. Misty Sabra on her heels in second. Tucson Bridget will wait for the passing lane now in third. Grand Scooter comes to the outside. General Preference second bid as she sets sail from 5th. Here's Get Along Gretchen moving up on the outside as they make their way to the half-mile pole, followed by Show Me Love. Ranging up on the outside, Pocket Edition, and along the rail, Ann's Magical Log by the half in 57-3. Field of 9 is side by side and stride for stride, racing down the backstretch. Fact Queen and Charlie Conrad continue to show their heels to the field. Grand Scooter flattens out a bit in second, followed by Misty Sabra in third. On the far outside, General Preference, here comes Tucson Bridget with a rush along the rail. Moving around the three-quarters in 126-2. Bouncing right along, Fax Queen continues to lead. Misty Sabra's second. Tucson Bridget waits for the passing lane in third. Out from between horses, Show Me Love fourth. They're into the stretch. Fax Queen on top. Fax Queen, Misty Sabra, Tucson Bridget is third. Under Charlie Conrad's whip, it's Fax Queen. Misty Sabra second. Tight for third, two, Show Me Love and Tucson Bridget. The unofficial winner of tonight's 9th race, number 4, Fax Queen, improving 4-year-old bay mare by Abercrombie out of Nia Freight by Niatros. Owned in Evansville, Indiana by Fred Schroeder Jr. Trained by Miss Julie Russell. Driven tonight coast to coast by the pride of Corden, Indiana, Charlie Conrad. Covering that mile here in 155, number 4, Fax Queen, the unofficial winner of tonight's 9th race. Two, Show Me Love was up third, and number 3, Tucson Bridget was fourth. Windows are now up and on tonight's 10th race. The Ohio First Lady filly pace, third division in a field of 8. No changes on the balance of the program, including the final pick 3. Here comes the field for tonight's 10th race. Ohio's First Lady filly pace, third division for $23,100. Field of 8 will go to starter John Betts in about 6 minutes. Number 1, Rapid Roxy, owned by Donald Elmer and Brian Brown with Brad Hanners. Number 2, Ideal Gigi, owned by Howard and Doris Armstrong with Jody Essing. Number 3, Rumble Seat Rhonda, owned by Marilyn Guild, Jody Truitt, Doug Guild, and Dan Mosier with David Myers. 4, Face the Facts, owned by Danny Perdue, Scott Boer, and Conrad Boer, driven by Mike Wilder. Number 5 is Mitch's filly, owned by William Roush, Dan Ader in the bike. Number 6 is True Tucson, owned by the Bad Boy stable with Terry Holton. 7, Debbie's Bud Light, owned by Terry Gillian with Dave Hawk. 8, Princess Tradition, owned by Sugar Knoll Farms. Jim Padaliano will be in the sulky. Field for race 10, post time in 5 minutes. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing the 5. Mitch's filly off stride before the start and seems hopelessly out of this one. As they move down the backstretch for the lead, Ideal Gigi steps around Rapid Roxy to get the top. Here's Rumble Seat Rhonda in the third. Trying to leave and not able to go on, True Tucson. Midway on the turn, Face the Facts. Debbie's Bud Light is up on the outside. Princess Tradition and Mitch's filly. 7 are now lengths apart, rolling by the opening quarter in 28-1. Speeding past the stands to the half-mile pole. Up top, Ideal Gigi, a length and a half. Rapid Roxy on her heels in second. Rumble Seat Rhonda prompting from third. Debbie's Bud Light moves up on the outside. Princess Tradition will move with her. Around the clubhouse turn, True Tucson after that. Face the Facts. And Mitch's filly were down to 7 at the half-mile pole. Ideal Gigi by a length. Here's Debbie's Bud Light up on the rim second. 58-3, speeding down the backstretch. 1-5 favorite Ideal Gigi continues to lead the way. At her wheel, disc in second, Debbie's Bud Light. Rapid Roxy in third. Princess Tradition moving up on the outside, steadily fourth. Rumble Seat Rhonda ready to move from the back seat in fifth. Driving up on the far outside, True Tucson. Face the Facts along the rail. Mitch's filly is at the end in 126-3. The favorite now begins to open up some daylight. It's Ideal Gigi on top. Rapid Roxy in second. Here's Rumble Seat Rhonda coming on third. Racing through the stretch. Ideal Gigi being asked for her best. Rapid Roxy is closing in. Rumble Seat Rhonda's up on the far outside. Ideal Gigi in front. Here comes the unofficial winner, and a hard-earned victory it was. To Ideal Gigi, a 3-year-old bay filly by Nuclear Siren. Out of HR's Gigi by Towner's Big Guy, owned in Connorsville, Indiana by Howard and Doris Armstrong. Trained by Joe Essig, driven tonight by Jody Essig, going coast to coast. In a lifetime best equaling 155-1. Number 2, Ideal Gigi, the winner of tonight's 10th race. Number 3, Rumble Seat Rhonda was up second. Number 1, Rapid Roxy third, and 8, Princess Tradition was fourth. 2, 3 exacta 19 even in the try, $54.80. $54.80. Windows are now open on race 11, sponsored by Trader Bud's Westside Dodge. No changes in the final pick 3. Post time 10:57. Here comes the field for tonight's 11th race. Start of the final pick 3, sponsored by Trader Bud's Westside Dodge. $9,000 filly and mare open 1 Deep Blue. Owned by Fred Merriman, driven by Jerry Kutchback Jr.'s 2 is Steph Kress. Owned by Kress Farms and Brad Hanner's 3, Mudge's Elisa Gale. Owned by the Martin Racing Incorporated with Jeff Fout 4, Waiting for You. Owned by Hull Investment Company and David Myers aboard 5, She's a Farm Girl. Owned by Mark Perrin and David Ram with Jody Essig 6, Illegally Parked. Owned by Dan Russo and Robert Parker with Dave Hawk. 7, Sassy Abu, owned by Kim Godfrey, Mary Wolf and Larry Coder, and the drivers Randy Tharps, 8, Quick Dispatch. Owned by Jen and Ken Adamski, Mark Grismore will be in the sulky. Field 4, race 11, 5 minutes till post. Is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Mudge's Elisa Gale, middle of the racetrack. Steph Kress between horses. Deep Blue along the rail. Here comes Illegally Parked. Driving up on the outside. This is a total war right now. Waiting for You moves in to be fifth as they make their way to the top turn. She's a Farm Girl, Sassy Abu, and Quick Dispatch. And we're off to the rodeo in here. Jerry Kutchback has got his head down and not even looking over. 27 seconds flat, but Brad Hanners pushes on. Steph Kress on the outside is being absolutely mortified in here. Deep Blue holds her out at bay in second. Mudge's Elisa Gale is up on the outside. Toward the rail, Waiting for You, around the clubhouse turn. Middle of the racetrack, Illegally Parked, caught 3 wide to the far outside. She's a Farm Girl. Here's Sassy Abu, and at the end, Quick Dispatch. 56 seconds flat. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Deep Blue continues the punishment. Steph Kress on the outside. With a rush on the far outside, here comes Illegally Parked to get the lead. Illegally Parked, and She's a Farm Girl up on the outside. Steph Kress still digging way down deep. Mudge's Elisa Gale between horses. Sassy Abu fifth. Quick Dispatch on the far outside. Waiting for You and Deep Blue is called it a night in 124-4. Moving around the far turn. Illegally Parked has the top by a length and a half. She's a Farm Girl comes to the far outside with about an acre and a half to make up. Moving through the stretch. It's Illegally Parked. Right alongside in second, She's a Farm Girl. She's a Farm Girl. No bad jokes about her tonight. She's a Farm Girl in front. Here comes the unofficial winner, number 5. She's a Farm Girl. 5-year-old brown mare by Farmstead's fame out of Radiant Rose. Owned by S. Mark Perrin and David Ram of Middletown and Lebanon. trained by Joe Essig, driven tonight by Jody Essig, covering the mile in 154 and 3. 5, She's a Farm Girl, the unofficial winner, a double tonight for Joe Essig, a triple for Joe Essig Jr. Windows are open on the 12th. No changes in the final two. Post time at 11:17. Here comes the field for tonight's 12th race. Middle leg of the late pick 3 exact and trifecta wagering 1 King's First Lady. Owned by Barbara King, Jeff Fout drives. 2, we're having a heat wave. Owned by the Morris brothers with Mike Wilder. 3, Tucson Gwenny, owned by Asim Pasim Stables, Lisa Grubik, Jeff Rector, and Ned Hodkinson with Brad Henners. Number 4, Merrymaker, owned by Russell Heron, Woody Woodward with Ryan Holton aboard. 5, Shadow Lane Hanover, owned by Robert Del Bianco. David Myers will be in the bike. 6, Gemini Jezebel, owned by Steve Gibson with Dave Hawk. 7, Linda Linnell, owned by Charles Blankenship with Jody Essig. 8, Sensational Sherry, owned by Harold Farvell and Randy Macho Man Savage and Charlie Conrad. 9, Kells of Gold, owned by Jake Shaw, Robert Pryor, Randy Tharps will be in the sulky. Field for the 12th, post time in 5 minutes. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Shadow Lane Hanover takes the lead. Tucson Gwenny rolls out. King's First Lady on the rail. Up on the far outside comes Kells of Gold. They're down the back stretch to the far turn. After that comes Heat Wave, followed by Merrymaker, Gemini Jezebel, Linda Linnell, and Sensational Sherry as they drive to the quarter-mile pole. Shadow Lane Hanover has got the top in a quick 27 and 1. Looking for cover past the stand. Shadow Lane Hanover leads the way. Shadow Lane on top, Tucson Gwenny on her heels in second. Past the stands, King's First Lady third. Kells of Gold, hope things will pan out from here. Not. Around the clubhouse turn, Heat Wave, saving ground every step. Gemini Jezebel, Merrymaker's up on the outside. Underway from the back of the pack, Linda Linnell and Sensational Sherry. They're at the half in a moderate 57 and 2. Bit of a respite there for the pace setter. Shadow Lane Hanover, who continues to lead the way. On her heels in second, Tucson Gwenny and King's First Lady. We're having a tropical heat wave moving up on the outside with an overland brush. Even further out comes Merrymaker, a little more than a quarter of a mile to drive. Shadow Lane Hanover continues to lead the way. Heat Wave up on the outside toward the rail. Tucson Gwenny 126 and 4. Driving around the far turn. Shadow Lane Hanover is strong. Right alongside in second, Heat Wave. Tucson Gwenny waits for the passing lane. Nowhere to go for Gemini Jezebel. The pace setter brings them on home. It's Shadow Lane Hanover by about a length and a half. Tucson Gwenny coming quickly on the rail, but nobody's good enough tonight. Shadow Lane Hanover, coast to coast. Here comes the unofficial winner, number 5, Shadow Lane Hanover, 4-year-old bay mare by Jate Lobel out of Charlotte Newton. Owned and trained here in Columbus by Robert Del Bianco, driven tonight coast to coast by David Myers. Covering the mile in 155 and 4, number 5, Shadow Lane Hanover, the winner. Windows are now up and on tonight's 13th and final race, Superfecta and Exacta. Post time will be upcoming here in just a second. The Exacta, $41.80, $41.80. The Try, $560.20, $560.20. Post time for tonight's 13th and final. Number 1, Rosie Scooter, owned by Richard Stevens and Sal Nacera, driven by Mike Wilder. 2, Jazzy Jackie Ann, owned by Mark Klotz and Janet Dar. Mark Klotz will drive. Number 3 is Noble Jewel, owned by John LeGros and Jody Essig for Johanna. Owned by Bob Griffith. Sandy Beatty will be aboard 5, Bikini Bird. owned by Doug Parker and Harry Berger. Darren Mauser in the bike. 6 Hills War Feather, owned by Tony Tin Cup Ware with Jeff Fout. 7 Matching Rocky, owned by Asim Pasim Stables and Jeff Rector with Brad Hanners. 8 Flash Paper, owned by John Perrin with Jack Daly. Number 9 Sea Power, owned by Maple Valley Farm and Dave Hawk. 10 Love You Perfect, owned by Beverly Buchelman. Dan Ader will be in the sulky. That is the field for race 13. Superfect and Exacta, 5 minutes till post. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Matching Rocky was off stride at the start. Off stride before the start, Sea Power. They're down the backstretch. From the outside, Bikini Bird takes the lead. Noble Jewel moves in to be second. Here's Hills War Feather driving up on the outside as they're grabbing leather to let her go. On their way to the quarter-mile pole, Hills War Feather up on the outside, brushes to the front. Followed by Bikini Bird in the second, Noble Jewel third. After that, Rosie Scooter fourth. Out of the second tier, Love You Perfect is in the fifth. They're by the opening quarter in 28 seconds flat. Past the stands, Jazzy Jackie Ann with the free-legged mare, Johanna. Followed by the long shot, Flash Paper. Quickly back in the stride, the early breaker, Sea Power. Far, far back, that is Matching Rocky. Around the clubhouse, turn to the half-mile pole. Hills War Feather, trying to make every pole a winning one, continues to lead the way. Bikini Bird on her heels in second, driving up on the outside. Rosie Scooter to third. Here's Love You Perfect. They're at the half in 58. They're straightening out for their long trek down the backstretch. Hills War Feather by an easy length and a half. Bikini Bird stalking second. Rosie Scooter is up on the outside third. Love You Perfect in fourth and Noble Jewel fifth. Johanna between horses. Nearest the rail, the Chestnut, Jazzy Jackie Ann. Sea Power, Flash Paper, far, far back, Matching Rocky. 126 and 2. Matching Rocky has pulled up. Hills War Feather gets away from him. Hills War Feather leads the way. Bikini Bird fighting back in the pocket. Looking for racing room, Noble Jewel. Field straightens away. Lines are taut on Hills War Feather. Here's a rocking chair drive. Hills War Feather on top by a good margin. Noble Jewel on the outside second. Bikini Bird third and 2. Jazzy Jackie Ann will finish fourth. In the winner's circle, number 6, Hills War Feather. 4-year-old bay mare by Tudor Scooter out of Warpath, Elmhurst, owned in Dublin, Ohio by Tony Tin Cup Ware. Trained by Alex Spence Jr., driven tonight coast to coast by Jeff Fout. Covering the mile here in 155. Number 6, Hills War Feather, the winner. 5.56 on the late pick 3, $421.40.